What up, YouTube? I'm back again with another live video. And as y'all know, I get on this YouTube channel, and a lot of people say I ain't got no content. I'm always sitting in the same place, just running my mouth, ranting, not really talking about nothing. I don't really have the subscribers I want. And well, the amount of subscribers I want. Don't get me wrong, I love my subscribers. I love people who subscribe to my channel, who pay attention to my videos. I just wish it was more. So, with all this ranting I'm doing and getting on YouTube just talking about whatever, I choose that I want to get on YouTube and talk about whatever because it gives America more of a better understanding of who I am, what I am, how I grew up, my likes, dislikes. Just it gives America a chance to really get to know who I am from my mouth. Even if years later, let's just say YouTube is still out, we still living in this world, and I'm a lot older, probably like in my 40s, 50s, maybe 60s. Let's just say social media is still out. When that time comes, by the grace of God, when that time comes, social media is still out. And if my mind still remember every nook and cranny, hopefully it does. I might want to take time like, okay, I've been through a lot in my life. I really did a lot in my life. By this time, I want to write a memoir, but I probably won't be able to remember everything. So by watching my YouTube videos and Facebook live streams and whatever other platforms I'm on, I feel like it gives me a better memory of things that I might want to put in the book. Because it might be a lot of things that I'm like, oh, I wish I could put this in the book, but I don't remember it. And I mean, like, when people write memoirs, they don't put, I mean, yeah, it's supposed to be a life story, but they don't put every nook and cranny and every detail into their books, even with biopics and all this stuff about people's lives. They don't put every nook and cranny and every detail. It'd take you years to find that out if they even choose to air it out. So as for me, I've been through a lot of things that I spoke on. I've been through things I don't speak on. So that's why I choose to get on social media, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever platform, where I could just talk and you'll get to know me. Um, so with that being said, um, I do a lot of research, and most of it end up with me watching crime stories about different things. Most of the crime stories that I've been watching have to do with parents harming their children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, whatever the case may be. And um I decided to talk about fathers. I decided to open up and talk about fathers because I may have opened up in past videos speaking on my biological father and my stepfather and my relationship with having a father in my life and the other father figures such as my great grandfather or my pop on my dad's side or the male figures in my life who I looked at like examples of a father figure. Um, I decided to name this Sins of a Father because I remember one time I was having a conversation with somebody and um, I was thinking about times where when I was younger Yeah, I had my stepfather in my life, but I did want to know who my I mean, I know who my biological father is, but not like that. I mean, yeah, I know his name, I know what he looked like, but I don't know who he is as a person, who he is as a character, what he like, what he don't like, when he was born, what's his birthday, stuff like that. How many other children he have? Do I have nieces, nephews, older siblings, younger siblings? Um, Maybe like some years ago, I did look through his Facebook page after finding out that he had a Facebook page and find out about other family members. Um, the most I know is I have a cousin named John John, and John John's mom is a friend of my mom and some family members of mine. And I mean, when I was younger, I eventually found out that he was my cousin because I would always be around his mother, who was, like I said, a family friend. And then I eventually found out the whole time that's my aunt through her relationship with my biological father's brother. I just ain't asked no questions because I was young. It wasn't my business. All I know is okay, that's family. So that's why I didn't want to have that type of conversation. Although I did want to know more about that side of the family, my biological father's side of the family. But at the end of the day, my cousin, he told me that he don't never have a good relationship with his father. And I'm going to just leave it at that. So I was like, well, at least I know somebody on that side of the family, if not everybody. I've reached out to. I did have a moment where like years ago. I tried to reach out to him, not my cousin, but like my father. Um, no response, nothing. So I just got to the point where I'm like, fuck you. I reached out to uncles, no response. So I'm just like, that family is that family. I don't even really consider them as family. The only person that I really see as family is um my cousin John John when I did see him, my aunt, well my aunts, and that's about it. And my uncle who passed away. But other than that, it is what it is. Um, from what I remember, I don't remember a lot. I just remember very little because I was so young. But my father was in my life at one point. I somewhat remember being around him and him come to pick me up and take me over his house and stuff like that. I don't remember too much. Um, because like I said, I was very young. So and then he was always getting into something in and out of jail, doing his own thing. So I don't remember much. The most I remember is I had to be like 8, 9, maybe 10. I was still living in Darby. Um, I remember he called for one of my birthdays, and no, he came. just out of nowhere. I don't know who he spoke to, how he found out where I lived at, whatever the situation may be. I don't know. I never asked. I don't know. All I know is he found out that I lived on Main Street, and just out of nowhere, I hear a knock on the door, and it's him and some other guy who probably was an uncle of mine. And I didn't know who he was. I didn't in the beginning. I just figured maybe it was a family friend, or I don't know. Like I said, I was young, so I had no idea. Because I was so used to it being my mom and my stepfather. I didn't consider any other fathers or whatever. And I would always hear stories, your dad did this or your uncle did or that. I'm like, okay. I just roll my eyes. I'm like, I'm sick of hearing this shit. I would hear people say, "Oh, you look like your dad," and I'm like, So he came when we was living on Main Street, and I just remember acting real shy, not really saying much. He did all the talking, and he gave me a couple of dollars, and my mom told me to say thank you, and I was just listening. And then he asked me what I want for my birthday, and I told him I wanted a pair of skates. He talked some more, and he was giving me hugs, and I might have sat on his lap or whatever, and he had just talking to me or whatever, and next thing I know, he was gone. Probably like a year or so later, we lived on Darby Terrace, and I remember him calling. Now my mom wasn't home; she was at work. My stepdad, he wasn't there. We was pretty much being babysat by the babysitter, Miss Pauline, and he ended up calling. And I don't know if she answered the phone, if my sister answered the phone. One of them answered the phone, and he ended up calling. I guess he wanted to speak to me. And I wasn't trying to hear any of the bullshit. He had talked about he has asked me where I live at, and talk about he got in some trouble and blah 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 blah. And I don't remember what I said back or whatever. I just hung up. And I think probably like a couple days later he called again, but I ain't there and talked to him. I think he might have talked to my mom, but I ain't there to talk to him. I ain't had nothing to say. I already made up my mind. You don't want nothing to do with me after all the time that you acting like you do. I already made up my mind. I've been raised by one man for most of my life. Why would I waste time being raised by another who should have been in my life the whole time instead of doing whatever it was he was doing? I guess he made his final decision because I'm 32 years old and I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him. I don't even know if he still acknowledged me as his son. And to be honest, I don't give a shit. I could pass away, he could pass away, and I still wouldn't give a shit because it's been all these years. I done been through the good, bad, and ugly in my life, and you was never there. I done been through surgery, different schools, getting kicked out of schools, Devro, homeschool, bullies, all types of shit. And you was never there. I done been through West Philly, North Philly, Southwest Philly, all over the place. And you was never there. And they used to get the fuck on my nerves when my aunt and them used to say, "Oh, I seen your uncle this, or I seen this, and I seen that," and I'm like, I don't care. If it ain't a Carter, why would I care? Now, as for my stepfather, who, as y'all know, passed away in 2014, I'm not gonna lie, he was in my life. He helped raise me and stuff like that. Um, but I'm not gonna lie, I did feel uncomfortable around some of his family members when I was introduced to them. I mean, like, yeah, I had it close by my aunt Jackie, my aunt Kim, my Nana Frida, my grandma Diane, Pop Pop, and a few other people, like cousins of mine and stuff like that on that side. But when it came to like their own little family get-togethers and reunions or whatever they are doing, and when I was there were times I felt uncomfortable. Um, and most of it is because I hated introducing myself and not knowing what to say because of course everybody know my brother Little, also known as Edward, which is my father's name. He's the oldest child. To be honest, I mean, yeah, I'm the oldest child. Well, the third oldest side of my mother's children. But when it comes to like all my stepfather's children, my brother Lil is actually the oldest. I'm just a stepson. But when I'm around that side of the family, I'm looking at it like, okay, I'm the oldest. This is my father, blood or not, biological or not. This is my father. I might not be a caller, but still, this is my father. This is a man who whooped my ass when I act up. This is a man who paid for my haircuts when I do get a haircut. I'm always around. Everybody see, well, most of y'all see me as part of the family. This is my father. I call him dad just like the rest of them. So yeah, it was plenty of times where I felt uncomfortable. I would act real shy and sit in my own corner. And then it get to point where my aunt Kim, my aunt Jackie, or somebody be like, "Boy, why are you always sitting in your own corner acting like you don't want to talk or be around nobody? If you don't get up to go get you a plate, get you something to eat, drink something." And then after a while, I get used to everybody. I introduce myself to everybody, and then it gets to the point where I done had so much fun. I don't ever want to go home. It was all now. Don't get me wrong. Like when I was at my aunt Jackie house, like a lot of family members I didn't know would come over, and I introduced myself, and everybody be cool. But when I was at my aunt Kim house, who lived in New Jersey, it'd be a lot of family and family friends to come over, and I'd be shocked because I didn't know who the hell was who, and I didn't know if they knew me or knew about me or who was I. They'd just see me there in my own corner, real quiet, and be wondering who I am. But everybody come up to me speaking to me, and I let them know, look, I'm a such and such son. Yeah, I'm pretty sure y'all know I'm his stepson, but that's my dad. Those my brothers. Whoop de doo. And then next thing you know, like I said, eventually all that shyness will go out the window, and I'll be getting along with everybody and be cracking up so damn bad. I don't ever want to go home because I didn't have fun with everybody. Um, but yeah, I don't. But yeah, my biological father, he wasn't in my life for years. Neither was any of his brothers. I don't continue to reach out to anybody. I don't even look at his Facebook page anymore. I used to do that. Like even if I don't speak to him or we don't have no conversation, whatever the case may be, I did at one point used to look at his Facebook page and look through his pictures and videos and stuff like that. And then it just got to the point where it's like, It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. I don't like to be honest, I'm sorry, but I don't really acknowledge everybody because I don't know everybody. I only like I know a small amount. I could count on one hand how many people I acknowledge when it comes to that side of the family and who I still consider family because they treat me well, never had any issues. And when they found out how we became family, I still was treated fairly, just like I was way before the conversation of how we are all family even took place. Um, and just out of respect, I always like when my mom and them had friends that I seen throughout my life, I always respectfully call somebody uncle this or aunt this, even if they not blood. Because I like when y'all come around so damn much, y'all like family. So I might as well start calling y'all aunts and uncles and cousins. Just like it took me forever to realize that when I was younger, it took me forever. I slipped and called my cousin Denise my aunt a few times because she was older. Um, I slipped and called my cousin Dwight uncle a few times because everybody was way older than me. So I'm like, well, damn, are y'all cousin, uncle? Hell, my cousin Denise mom, my cousin died. I done slipped and called her aunt died a few times, and I had to realize that's cousin. Everybody is cousin. Um, but that's just how I was as a kid. If I see a lot of older people around me, I'm looking at you like you probably aunt, uncle until I get a clear explanation of the who's who. And it is what it is. Y'all always around, so I might as well start treating y'all like family. Um, I'm not going to say that my relationship with my father was the best, but what I will say is I love my father. I know for sure he loved me. We didn't have plenty of moments together by ourselves, conversations where I was probably in my head about something or he was thinking about something. It's mostly music because he knew I had a strong love of music. He'd put me on to old school hip hop artists and be asking me questions. Then or he'd be playing a song on the radio in his car or or wherever we was living at the time, and I'd be asking him who is who. Um, I was with him by myself when he had his blue truck and he went to go get that loud ass engine. Then most of the time, of him coming to pick me up from school because I was throwing up or I was sick and stuff like that, or him coming to pick me up because I had appointments leading to my brain surgery. Um, but yeah, we had a fair bond. Me personally, I just feel like sometimes I felt he was too strict. Sometimes, like, it's just a lot of stuff that kind of bothered me or I didn't have a fair understanding of. And as a child, you think of your parents being too strict and not letting you make your own decisions, or however you may think as a child. But as you get older, you try to find some understanding of why this may happen or why they felt this way about something. And I do remember, like, I like it, certain stuff slightly bothers me, but I learned to forgive as I got older, because I always remember when he used to tell us that he didn't have his father in his life. And I remember one time having a conversation that made me sad, where he was like, he could be on the bus and his father be sitting right there and he wouldn't there know. And I was like, although he was in my life as my stepfather, I could understand where he coming from because my biological father wasn't in my life. And before looking at his Facebook page and stuff, like, I mean, yeah, I've seen pictures here and there, but people looks change as they get older. So I'm thinking like I'm always in West Philly, and that's originally where he from. I could have walked right past him and not even know it was him. And I'm not gonna lie, I seen plenty of people that look exactly like the pictures I seen of my biological father. But if a person ain't coming up to me and saying my name, then clearly you ain't who I thought you were. And it's kind of creepy because people really be looking like other people and it be no relation. I lie to you all night. I swear it scared the shit out of me. I lie to you all night. Like, I was really, really scared. I remember one time, I don't remember the exact year, but I was in high school and one of the staff members passed away. And I lie to you not, somewhere around that time, I think I had to go pick my little brother up from school, or maybe I was just walking past that way to go somewhere. I don't fully remember. For some reason, I was going past the way of where he used to go to school in. I don't know if it was to pick him up or maybe I was going to the store or something and passed that way. I don't remember because it was so many. It was like several years ago. But I remember walking by the school and there was this car out there, and the car looked very similar to the car of the staff member that passed away at my school. Well, he ain't passed away at my school, but like the staff member that used to work at my school that passed away. And what creeped me out is I like the guy who was standing by the car. I lied to y'all not. I had to double look, like what, like something ain't right. It was a guy that looked somewhat like the staff member. And I didn't want to look creepy just staring at people, but it scared the shit out of me because I swear on everything I love, the car was similar to the same car that I remember the staff member at my school having, and the guy looked somewhat like him. The only difference is I remember how the staff member used to dress, and I'm not saying no names, but I remember how a staff member used to dress, and the guy, like some, like he looked like who I thought he was, but something was off. Then another time that creeped me out was I thought I seen my cousin. We This was many years ago. I thought I seen my cousin because I know that my uncle, one of my uncles used to ride most of the cars that my great grandfather had in this van that we called the family van. looked very similar to my great grandfather's van. And this girl that was in the passenger seat, she kind of, in a way, she kind of favored my cousin. And I'm just staring there, like waving and saying my cousin's name. And she just staring back at me, like, who is he talking to? Is he looking at me or? And I'm just constantly waving. And then somebody tapped me and was like, "That's not who you think it is." It's crazy. This world is really crazy. Like you could really look at somebody and think that it's somebody, and the whole time it's neither and none. But I ain't gonna lie, I was scared. Something ain't right. I'm not gonna lie, it scared the hell out of me. I had to double check and keep looking like, hold on, something ain't right. Ben Crump, who that? Somebody named Ben Crump said 4 years ago, 20-year-old Dante Wright was shot and killed during a traffic stop by a Brooklyn Center officer who claimed she mistook her firearm for a taser. A life stolen in seconds by someone with 26 years in uniform. Dante, you should still be here. Rest in power. Mm. I think I heard this story. I think I heard this story. Mm. This world is crazy. All I can do is just pray. Pray that I never make it in any of those situations. Been close to it, but thank God I'm praying. I'm praying for myself. That's all I can do. That's why I stay in the house. I don't really go nowhere. I'm very careful where I choose to go. Um, and I was thinking to myself, like, I don't drive. I don't have the money to do Uber and stuff like that all the time. But I be having to go places, and I need something to help me. So I was thinking that the next time I get a stipend, I'm gonna try to find a good enough electric bike because I do be outside going places by myself, and walking is one thing, but I need something where I can feel more safer. Cause don't get me wrong, this neighborhood is cool. This neighborhood is cool. I don't really have no problems with nobody in this neighborhood. I could go around the whole neighborhood and do my neighborhood walks peacefully, thank God. But I still want to be fully protected when I'm outside by myself. And the only thing I got is a cell phone that most of the time don't even have data. So I personally feel like that in this world that we live in, I should at least be protected no matter where I go. No matter if it's a doctor appointment, the DHS building for food stamps, or wherever I go. I need to get me a bike or something. I really do. That way I ain't gotta try to get a ride from somebody or ask for a couple of dollars for a Lyft and Uber, because Lyft and Uber, they crazy. I rather ride a bike. I really, really, really seriously need one. I don't know how the hell I'm gonna put it together. Maybe I'm gonna find one that it somewhat come together itself. I don't know, but I feel like I really, really, really need a bike to be able to get around. I need a bike, and I need some mace, a taser, something. But yeah, but I'm looking. I'm looking. This world's crazy. And it seems like every time I get on TikTok or something, I found out that this happened, that happened, somebody done got killed, planes crashing everywhere, somebody done got shot, somebody done got kidnapped. Ain't nobody got time for that. And then the sad thing about it is, most of it be happening in places that I usually be around, or at least close to it. Ain't nobody got time for that. No, no, no. And that's why I said I need me a bike or something. I need me a bike and some protection. I need to get me a bike, get me a lock for my bike, so won't nobody be trying to steal it. I need me a mace or pepper spray. I need me a taser. I need me all the protection I need. In that way, if I got a doctor appointment, I can do that. I can just park my bike in that little parking lot section. If I gotta go to the DHS building for whatever reason, that might be a little bit more challenging because I gotta cross so many streets and stuff like that. But hey, I gotta do what I gotta do. I'm over here on Super Loud talking to one of my Jamaican friends. He over here smoking and cooking, and whatever the hell he cooked, it look good as hell. I ain't had no Jamaican food in a long time. I think I think the last time I believe it was Jamaican food probably was like some years ago. But I'm about to get off of here. I'll be back.